Dear twin flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is in episode number 68. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about who or what are twin flames and why you are feeling the way you're feeling, and what is the cause of this and how to overcome it, and what is this journey or love story about? I know when we first come to this twin flame journey, at least from my own experience, I saw this very differently than I see it today. Because of that, I had to go through hell and experience a lot of things that I had no idea I can experience in this world and in these circumstances. So in today's episode, I'm gonna walk you through of what are twin flames and why do we feel the way we do. So first I would like to make sure that I'm not a big fan of labels. And I also feel the same thing with twin flames. To be honest, inside of me, I feel what are twin flames is the purest form of love, purest form of connection, and feeling alive again, feeling that you are connected with your own higher self, and all of a sudden you are this love. Although when we Google, we get the very different stories, very different opinions, and I'm all on board with that. I don't think that twin flame journeys are so black and white. Although one thing is that I don't really like I would say again, the labels. Because what happens with labels? When we put the label on something, we create the box around it, that this is how it has to be. This is what it is, and this is how it's going to be, and so on. Let's be honest, we still don't have, the real answer for what happened to us. But you know what happened to you. You know that you felt something that you have never felt before in your life. And there were so many synchronicities, there were so many things that until today, it's difficult to grasp upon and realize this really happened to me, regardless of what others would say. Here is why it's very difficult to share your twin flame journey or story with someone who hasn't been on this journey, because you need to experience this in order to understand who or what are twin flames. And at the end of the day, twin flames are frequency and energy, and your soul, your spirit, that has the same frequency. And that's why you feel this energy of home. You feel that you have arrived somewhere, that everything is different than you ever experienced in your life before. And regardless of if you wanted to come to this journey or not, now you are on this journey, and there is no way out from this. There is no way of cutting a cord or trying to move on with somebody else. It's just not going to work out exactly like that. I'm not saying that you cannot fall in love again with somebody else and you can have a beautiful relationship and connection. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you cannot forget your twin flame once you have come to this journey. Your twin flame's energy, the spirit, will always be around you. The higher self will always remind you one way or another. And when the time is right, you're going to come to the union. But you can't stop living your life, and you can't stop blaming yourself, and you can't stop being angry on yourself or on your twin flame or anybody else. This is a journey within. And so, just coming back to the label of twin flames, when we have this good and bad about twin flames. There are stories around how twin flames are a cult. And here again, I'm going to say that everything in this life that forces you to do something that is against your inner voice, that goes against of who you are as a soul when you connect with it, is not it's not, how do I say, it's not twin flames. Twin flames are a pure form of love. Acceptance, no judgmental, no gossiping, no making you to do things that will harm you. Instead, twin flames, in the purest form, will help you to find your true self of yours, will help you to become your higher self and to serve this world from the highest possible way. So just be very careful of whose opinion you're taking in, who you're connecting with. And I'm not here to say that how do I say, I know everything. I don't know it. I know nothing. I only know what I've been given so far as an information, and as much as I'm listening to my higher self. But I believe I have so much to learn. And everything that I know today, I share, because I hope it will help others. But maybe in 10 years, maybe in 15 years, we can turn around these things and say, yeah, this is actually what it is. This is what happened to us, and this is how it works. We are here to learn. We are here to come together as a love and uplift each other, uplift the frequency of love. And so that's why when we often get this question like, am I on this journey? Which of course was in my mind too. When I first came to this journey, I just wanted some answers. I just wanted to understand what happened to me, because if I would have said this to anyone on this planet, they would have called me crazy. Well, funny enough, just a few weeks ago, or maybe just a week ago, I had a call with a woman who lived very close to me at this time when I was going through the first understanding the ego death from my twin flame. Back then, I thought I'm the only one on this earth. I thought there is no one around me who would exactly understand what I'm going through. Because also the information on internet felt for me a little wrong in certain ways. And I'm not saying again that I am right here. I was just so confused. And I will talk about this at the end of the podcast, why I was so confused. But I just couldn't believe that it happened to me in that form, and why is it not stopping? I was hoping it will stop, this obsessive thinking, this that I cannot sleep, that I cannot eat, that I cannot simply function, and I don't understand what is wrong with me. Well, now, about, I don't even know how many years later, there was this woman, because as you know, you can book a call with me, and she booked the call with me, and turned out that she was closer to me than I thought. So that's why I'm just going to say that we are not alone actually on this journey. And you should be never feeling that you need to suffer alone and stay there and hold yourself that you will not go crazy. Because the more you're going to resist, the more pain you're going to feel. And also coming back to the term of twin flames. Well, whether it's not or it is, that, for example, the knowing you are on this journey, I've noticed that those who are really on this journey, the universe talks back to them immediately. Because I have a way of, when you have a call with me, I tell you something, and then we're going to do an energy activation. And often, like, I get obviously based on a story, but sometimes some stories are way out there. And then I ask them to do that, and they get the reply, and I'm like, here you go. You are on this journey. There is nothing wrong with that. And but then we're going to have that, am I on this journey? Is it really my twin flame? And I actually would say that the fact that we are seeking for this answer is also one of the signs that you have met your twin flame. But also another thing is, let's say twin flames do not exist. All of this doesn't exist. The name, the thing, it's all like you made up in your head and all of this. Now let me ask you a question. Why on earth one day you come across with a stranger, or one day you have this click inside of you that you cannot stop, and from there on weird things will start to happen? You will feel this obsessive thinking, you will feel their energy, you have numbers around you. Everything will start to happen. It's like you stepped into another universe, in another world, where all of a sudden so much is happening. And yet, at the same time, you are in a complete separation of your twin flame. They are not even close to you. And they don't tell you anything. Or if they do, that's great too. But it's like two parallel worlds. And I would ask myself, why? Why on earth you should be making up a story like this? Why? What it will give you to make up this story, even if it's twin flames or not. I can tell from my own experience, I would have never, ever thought myself that I'm gonna be on this journey, because first of all, I did not believe in this term of twin flames. Like I said before on my podcast, I've heard that one time before, and that's it. And if someone would have told me these stories, even my own story, if someone would have walked up to me and told me this story, I would be like, okay, yeah, you had a crush. Okay, I understand. But I wouldn't be able to relate. But this happened to me. And so whether it's twin flames or not twin flames, or quantum couples, same energy, whatever we want to label it, this will not prove a fact that it happened to me. So it can be all a scam. I'm all okay if it's a scam. But it will not take away the fact that this happened to me. And I know it happened to you as well. And I'm very grateful and thankful, first of all, every one of you who supports this channel over here, who likes, who subscribes, who leaves the comments, who supports on Patreon. I'm extremely thankful. Because of your help, we can bring more love, we can bring more peace into this world and heal. And this happened to you. Even though it can be the craziest story on earth, this happened to you. So whether it is twin flames or not, in that sense, when we are seeking for this person has to be my twin flame, something happened to you that you cannot deny. I have been going back on, since I remember my first love, when I really fell in love, and I've been going back on them to compare of what happened back then and what happened when I came to this journey. And it's very, very different. This is just funny. It's very different than it's what is with twin flames. And I would recommend to every one of you to go through that. Like the people you have loved, you had crushes on someone, just go through it. And it's very different. Of course, my case was very different. I will talk about this a little bit. I've done this many times on my other episodes, but those of you who are new here, welcome. My case was very different in that sense that I definitely didn't want to be on this journey. Despite the fact that now I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful that I met my twin flame, that he showed to me who I am and what I'm supposed to do in this world and how I can serve it. And he came to show me who I am really, like from the core. Well, it required to kill my ego and it required many other things. But he made me free. And I just hope that I can help him to feel free as well. Anyways, talking about me coming to this journey, as many of you know, and I'm going to talk about all of these feelings that we can have when we come to this journey, as feeling guilt, feeling shame, feeling anger, feeling disappointment, feeling like I should not be feeling towards a person like this, and why can't I stop it? So I'm going to bring it in from two ways. Obviously, it will go more towards my side because of my own experience, but as I've heard many stories of yours, I will be also sharing what I know from your side. When I did not want this to happen to me, in that sense that I was not seeking for a person, I was not looking for anybody, there was nothing in my mind in order to find someone. And yet, it still happened to me, whether I liked it or not. And I was, in a sense, of married. And once it happened to me, pretty much I could no longer control myself. I could not understand what just happened to me. And back then, I was very naive. I just didn't know what happened. I don't even know what I was thinking back then, and it's still very hard to grasp upon what do you feel when you come to this journey, because it happens very quickly. It happens, like I would say, like really like someone has given you electricity and it goes all through your body, that is like taking you to another timeline, another universe, and you're trying to grasp upon what happened to me and why am I acting this way. In my previous episode, I was just talking about it, and that gave me a lot of peace. Actually, was from this Adam Rao, and he was just saying that we can't control who we fall in love with, and that's simply the truth. You cannot control this, and there is no way of walking around and being like, okay, I like this person, I'll see a handsome man or a beautiful woman, and I'm gonna fall in love with them. It doesn't work like this. If it hits you, if the true love hits you, it hits you out of nowhere. And same with twin flames in that sense. It hits you out of nowhere, whether you are in a relationship or not in a relationship, whether you're married or not married. If this happens, it happens. And it's very, very difficult to make a logical sense from it. I'm going to just say that the earlier you're going to drop off all of the logic behind it, the better you're going to feel. Because there is simply no logic. There is no logic on this journey. Or at least, maybe something is logical for you, well, not for me. And what are the other things that twin flame is going to do for you when you come to this journey? It is this intense spiritual awakening. And that's why I was saying, when I was going through the people I have fallen in love with, and I still can remember because there haven't been many of them. I've been in love, I think, but I think I never really expressed that for anybody, because for me, again, opening my mouth and saying I'm in love with you was something very difficult to do. So I have been in love 3 times before meeting my husband. So then my husband, and since then no one. So I would say 4 times. Not much of the data obviously to compare, but I know that I've been 4 times in love because I always can remember, or in that sense of the love I had towards them and how I was hoping that they love me back. And but they were all very different. It's like it was more of conditional. It was with conditions. It was not unconditional. And twin flames are often unconditional. And I'm not saying conditions that I wanted this, I wanted this, I wanted this. It was more of a fact that I liked certain things about them. I liked what they said to me, for example. I liked the way, for example, they were treating me. I liked what they were, in a sense, of doing for me. So it is conditional. But with my twin flame, it was absolutely nothing like that. I mentioned that many times in my previous episodes. Me and my twin flame, we never went for a date. We met exactly, we saw each other 3 times, maybe by hours, 4 or 5 hours in total. And it was all in a sense of work related, that I picked him up from the work to drive back home because we were living in the same city. So there was nothing ever that, I mean, I could say that how I'm falling in love. And it's even, if I compare the soulmate love that I have and my twin flame love, again, very different. That's why I do not like comparing anything, because love can be in a different forms. But what twin flames are going to come and teach us are 2 things: unconditional love and your spirituality, your spiritual awakening. And this is why they're going to call you, why is it called that twin flames will awaken your spirituality, or your spiritual awakening will happen during this time? Because it's already called spirit. Your spirit, you meet your spirit, your soul. It's the same. You are the same soul, same frequency, same awareness. That's why you can feel them. That's why you know them. That's why it feels like when you are with them or talking, that is like there is another way of communication, that things are happening in a completely different level. And so that's why it's going to trigger your spiritual awakening. And now another question I often get, and now again it's from the both sides. Some people are very afraid, like for example, people who are married to their soulmates, that what's gonna come? Am I gonna leave my family behind? Am I gonna leave my soulmate behind? And I'm gonna go with my twin flame? Or on the other side, again, is the other fear is like, will my twin flame ever come back? Will my twin flame ever love me? Why my twin flame is in a different relationship and doesn't love me? These are all the things that I just want to understand, that don't let your brain to get too into this, that I know I had the same questions, so I'm not here to judge you. I was Googling up and down when my twin flame is going to come back. I think that was my number one thing on Google when I was trying to figure out what happened to me. And I was Googling nonstop when my twin flame is coming back, how my twin flame is coming back. And in a sense, on that time, I'm going to say Google was right, those who, at least the information I was getting in. It was right about the fact that, first of all, when you trust and you surrender that you are on this journey, when you really trust and surrender, you're like, all right, I am on this journey. There is no way out. Universe, God, show me what I have to do next. Show me what is coming next. I will do anything what it takes to do it. Your twin flame will return to you, 100%. It's this trust and surrender that you understand I'm never in a separation. But somehow the separation is illusion, because your soul is so active, and it's like it's a soul and a mind that are fighting. And your mind is trying to convince you your twin flame doesn't love you, your twin flame doesn't care about you, your twin flame is not never coming back. You just made all of this up. Here's why again, why I recommend to write things down. Everything that comes from the channeling for you, or I will talk about the channeling also at the end of the podcast a little bit, but everything that you journal more than 15 minutes, anything that you talk more than 15-20 minutes will be the pure information from your soul. So connect with your soul and ask from it, why is it like that? So why is it coming? What do you feel? Everything that you're experiencing, write these things down. Because I'm going to tell you again, and I had just on Friday, we did a channeling session with another beautiful soul of mine. Oh, she's incredible. Her music is fantastic. She's so talented. And she had all of that information already, all the time. And because she's writing things down. And then guess what? Her twin flame admitted all of that. All of that information was coming. And I've said that over and over and over again. Write these things down, even though it can feel like Maybe I'm making this up. Maybe it's my wishful thinking. Maybe it's this and that. Whatever it is, write these things down. Because there's gonna be a day where you're going to have these answers, especially when you're doing channeling. I highly recommend, I have 2 channeling sessions available on Patreon. Try them out by yourself. You can read other people's comments there in order to see if that will work for you. You have nothing to lose. You can only win from it. So just trust it, go within and have the answers. And when you connect, you will know that you're never in a separation and your twin flame loves you regardless if your twin flame has gone to a relationship with somebody else. And here is another thing that might be a little bit difficult to hear. But when your twin flame is in a relationship with somebody else and you are craving for this person, be very thankful for that person who is in a relationship with them. And I know you don't want to hear that. I know you'll be thinking like, now, what do you mean? How can I be thankful for a person when I would like to be with this person? Well, now I'm talking about true twin flames. I'm not talking about someone you're trying to make as your twin flame or you're trying to convince that it's your twin flame. If you're trying to convince or make somebody as your twin flame, then they are definitely not, and they're somebody else, and that's okay too. That's okay too, because to love this person. But I'm talking of the twin flames that are sharing the same energy, the same awareness, the same soul. Your twin flame will always return back to you. Your twin flame will always love you, regardless of the circumstances. But maybe in between, your twin flame had to experience of being with somebody else to realize that I can never forget her or him, that it will never go away. And your twin flame had to understand this through another soul. So if you would like this to stop faster, in a sense that you would, again, I'm going to say there is no faster, there is no slow, there are no shortcuts. Everything comes down to divine timing. But I'm just going to say how you're going to get your twin flame in that sense connect with you better is when you're going to be thankful for that person of being in this life, because this person is going to teach something to your twin flame that is priceless once you're going to come to the divine union. And so instead of being angry, instead of being disappointed, instead of being jealous, instead of having all of these energies, say, I'm thankful that she or he is in my twin's life. He or she is showing something to my twin that is necessary for him to open his eyes and come back to me and connect with me. The more you're going to practice this, I tell you, magic will happen. Twin flames are not anger, jealousy, shame, guilt, all of that. But we do feel these feelings on this journey. We really do. And I'm just going to talk about why and how to let go of it. In my previous episode, I was just talking about the energy. How important is the energy? And we have to understand, I will try to make a better visual, maybe I put it up on Patreon, to explain of the frequency, because you can only meet and you can only create based on the frequency. And I'm going to reverse back here, because I'm just going to say, when I met my twin flame, this was the time where I really felt good about myself. I was happy. I'm all about, how do I say, it's okay. It's okay for you not to be my friend, and it's okay for me not to be your friend, and it's okay for us to coexist in this world with different energies. But I remember I was really in a state of happiness, in that sense that, like, I was happy of being on my own. It's as crazy as it sounds. And I could tell, if I now look at back, I was really in a love energy. And that's why, of course, I might have also, this happened to me in that time, because I was in a frequency of love and joy. And I was so in a role, and it was just so incredible who I was. I mean, I'm still there today now, so it's not that I lost it, But I'm just looking back on it and understanding this didn't happen to me because I was miserable, sad, angry, jealous. It happened to me in a frequency of happiness, joy, and love. And then it came to break down the version of my ego of who I thought I was and help me to connect with my divine feminine, to connect with my higher source, and make some changes in my life that I had to do. So everything is frequency. And now coming to this, so I had to, and I love this. I shared again on my Instagram, and there is a very good podcast out there from Joe Dispenza and Louis, the great, oh my God, I'm so bad at names. I tried to find this. I put it on the description. All of gossiping, all of these are very low vibrational. And I realized that, and so I'm going to say that what we're going to feel on this twin flame journey is very normal, but we need to let go of them. For example, a guilt. I felt an enormous amount of guilt of me, first of all, experiencing this divine love. How can I experience something towards a stranger while I'm married, I'm with 2 kids, I absolutely love my husband. There was no problem, and I still, until today, I really love my husband. But how can I feel something so divine towards a stranger that I should not be feeling, and why I cannot stop it? Why I cannot simply stop it? Well, there is no way for us to stop it. I'm just going to say this, and we should not feel the guilt about it. Because this guilt shows that we actually have never given us what we deserve, and we have never given us enough love, what we deserve. We have never been for ourselves enough, and now we feel very guilty that we're feeling like this towards another person. I'm not going to say here that it's okay to fall in love with somebody else on this journey and just go away. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we should not suppress our love, the love that we deserve, the love that we become, because it's a wrong thing to do. It's not. I'm going to tell you that the moment you're going to accept this love, the moment you're going to accept this love truly, you will become this love, and you can love your husband or your wife more. You can love your partner more. You can love everybody else in this world. It's like, think of your twin flame like a source of like your muse, like your energy that is giving you. And people can tell it's like a little bit fake in terms of you are in a relationship and then you're loving somebody else. No, not at all. If you get to the point where I am today, you would realize what I'm talking about. But again, I'm going to tell you that I did not understand this in the beginning, not at all in this way. I remember when I first started on this journey, and obviously I felt extremely disconnected. I felt guilt. I felt shame. That how can I love someone like this out of nowhere? And I knew I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. And all I was hoping just it will stop. Well, the fact is, and here we go again back, you can call it twin flame or not twin flame or this and that. No one can take away what happened to me. So I had like a big fight in between my mind and my soul, where I truly wanted to stop this, but I could not. And I was fighting and fighting and fighting. Today again, I'm going to say to you that don't do that. Stop fighting and choose love. Choose love, because from there on, everything will fall into the place how it's supposed to fall into the place. The more you're going to fight against it, the more you're going to put yourself into pain. And if it happens that your marriage is going to be over from that time, then you already know that your marriage was supposed to be over way before that, or your relationship. Or if that happens, that your relationship is going to get even stronger and you're going to be even better team and better things, then this was just for you to become present again in this love and be the one. But stop worrying about what's gonna come. You cannot, like in that sense, if it's meant to be, that's why I also say, if divine union is meant to be between you and your twin flame in this lifetime, it will make it happen regardless. Universe will make it happen for you. Whether you're going to stop this or whether you're going to run away and hide yourself in a bunker and you never want to come out from there, you're going to feel that. And then it's another thing. Why is it so important to let go of guilt, shame, fear, resistance, all of this, the lower vibrational energies? Why is it so important to let go of them? It's because you're going to uplift your energy again, in the sense of back to the love. And there is this divine timing, divine union. So if you feel any guilt, if you feel any shame towards what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and who you're becoming now, because I tell you, you will change. Meeting your twin flame, your life will never be the same as it was before that. Never, ever. You will become this radiant love. And especially when you have a Kundalini activation, you will feel the sexual energy. You will feel the life force. You will feel everything that you feel like, I am alive. And you have to let go of the lower vibrational energies. And again, I'm repeating this like a broken radio, but why I do this? Because really watch your language, what type of information you consume, what type of information you share overall. I'm just going to say there is nothing more powerful than owning your own story. You can share the story with me, twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. I can read this on my podcast. We can discuss about it. Or again, if you don't want to, you can book a call or we're going to discuss your journey. And from there on, you're going to go on. There's no point for you to, fight against it. It's there and it happened. And the more you're going to bury this, the more you're going to harm yourself. Sooner or later, there's going to be the time where everything is going to come together. But I also want to say about another thing is, and so this is for both for twin flames and spirituality. We have to understand, spirituality is your soul, your essence of who you are, and your truth, and your way of living in a harmony and coexisting with everybody here together. As twin flames are not in a box that we put in a box and saying, this has to happen to you, this has to happen to you, this has to happen, this. Well, no, because every soul is different. Every soul's energy is different. I love when I do the channeling and I get to see your higher self, how your higher self is. And I'm going to say that, wow, we are so different as the souls. We are not the same. So to compare ourselves that this is how it has to be, this is what you need to do, now this is the next step, this is what you're going to do, you're going to, let's say, I don't know, you're going to pray for 40 days and it's going to happen. You can't force. Spirituality is not about forcing. Spirituality is being part of the flow, part of it. And that's why I also want to say why spirituality is different than any other religion and every other thing. Because spirituality is not about force energy. It's not about you have to do this way, this is how it's going to be, this is what's going to happen, now you're going to do this, now you're going to do that, and if you do it this way, you are a bad person. Spirituality is about freedom. It's about coexisting and allowing others to express, others to live, being in harmony within each other, with the nature, with the universe, and the people around us. So, and what spirituality is not, is about I want and I need And this is how it's supposed to be. There's no need or want. Whether you want or not, the life will happen. But yours, you need to find your higher self to connect and listen what your higher self is telling you. So definitely connect with your higher self, listen to it, choose love, and you will have the answers. And I'm going to say another thing that came across as well when I was first coming to this journey. And I remember I was listening to one twin flame coach, and he was saying that, if you are in the marriage, be ready that your marriage is going to fall apart. And obviously it scared me. I was like, really, that's going to happen? And also it made me to want to do that in one way or another, because it was telling me that you will never feel the same way like you have felt towards your twin flame. Your marriage is going to fall apart and this and that. And I'm not saying that this is happening to all of us. What I am saying is find a safe space where you can hear what you really, like who you really are from your soul, and what is your soul's journey, what is going to happen and how it's going to happen. I've seen this over and over and over again, where people divorce. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be divorcing. If your marriage is not happening, if it's not good, that's obviously, it's time to go, it's time to leave. Whether it's a twin flame journey or not, it's time. But I see this over and over again, where people break up or their marriage or something like this in order to hope that then their twin flame will return. Or whether you're going to do this or not, your twin flame will not return because of that. So do not ever do anything on this journey based on others' opinion, based on how others are telling you, based on if others believe in you or not. You have to trust your inner voice. And sometimes it's difficult to hear your inner voice. Sometimes it's hard to make a step. I totally get it. But for that exactly, try to meditate. Try to connect with the like-minded people. You can join our group. I would say I am very, very blessed. What a beautiful community we have created. So much love, so much care. And the next call we're going to have is on the 3rd of March. So it's 12 o'clock New York time, 6 o'clock Paris time for 2 hours. You can come, you can share, you can be. Right after the retreat, I will make them more in the workshops that we will learn how to meditate. We will learn how to connect with our higher self. We'll learn how to channel. We'll learn how to journal. We will learn how to be yourself. Be fully yourself. Whatever version of you, but you're going to be that. And when you have all of these tools, I promise you, you're going to feel absolutely amazing and in love with life. And if your twin flame returns, that's great too. And now I'm just going to say another thing about the frequency. It requires, of course, more time, but I'm just going to quickly do it. First of all, we cannot force anybody to change if they are not ready for it. If they are not ready for a change, if they are not ready to become their higher self, if they are not ready to show their love yet, if they're not ready to surrender, you can't force them, regardless of what you're going to do. So that's why every single thing what you're going to do on this journey, you do it because it helps to elevate your energy, your consciousness, your higher self, your health, your wealth, your well-being. They will come along, I promise you. I've seen this over and over and over again around myself. Both of the people, because when I was done, when the channeling was done to me, and I was told, in a sense, that your job is to help your husband to go through a spiritual awakening, your twin, and guide others as much as you can. And I was like, what is this thing? Now I realized, yes, it is. And it's incredible to see that change. And I'm very different way of explaining this today. As I do all energetically. All is pure energy, and it's working. It's working so much better. So that's why I say sometimes we need to talk less and do more. So my in a sense of my recommendation is meditation, channeling, what you can do on my Patreon. I'm also going to say that right after the retreat, I am going to open a classes which we can do online all together. And I because my main aim is to help you to become your higher self, because I know the ripple effect of that. If you become your higher self, you will show it to another person, and the other person, so it will become so much more harmonious. And all of these energies, such as shaming someone, feeling guilty about the things, feeling lonely, all of these energies will slowly die. So whatever I'm gonna do, and I'm thankful that you are here today, I hope it will bring a little change. Even if I change 5 people in this world, I'm more than happy about it. So I'm very, very thankful that you are here today. And then one more thing. So yeah, this was about it's a bit generic, so I hope you found it helpful. Another thing I wanted to say about it, Patreon. We are on Patreon. So those of you who would like to join, if you are a Patreon supporter, you have an access to our live calls that are happening twice a month. Next one will happen on the 3rd of March, and you can join this, you can talk, you don't have to talk, whatever you want to do. Of course, you have an access to extra content that is out there, and I'm trying to put as many contents out there as I can. Then I have another news about our retreat. We just had one cancellation. And now if you are listening to this and feeling like, okay, this is a sign for me, cancellation, I can make it. You can still pay in some way of 2 installments, and you can join us on the 7th of March, here in Cyprus. So there is one cancellation. Get your spot as quickly as possible. We will have all of us will meet on this Wednesday on Zoom to get to know. So if you really feel that this was for me, I have this extra money, I have this, I'm gonna come, then the spot is yours. Get in touch with me as soon as possible. And last thing, don't really have. If you would like to book the session with me, it's twinflameawakeningjourney.com. I'm more than happy to hear from you and help you to become your higher self. Like I said, after the retreat, there will be many new things coming up. And as I've said, my aim is not to keep you on a loop. My aim is that within 1 or 2 calls to give you the tools to go out there and become your higher self. And once you are this, I tell you, you will know what I'm talking about. So I hope this episode today was a little bit helpful. It was again a little bit here and there, but as you know me. So thank you for listening. Thank you so much for being here. You are my gift. And I hope to see you soon. Lots of love and light.